welcome to the Lieutenant's Axis and Allies channel.
So we will be posting strategies, reviews, and anything that we think of that would be great Axis and Allies content.
What you can expect for an upload schedule for us is we're going to try and do one once every month since we are pretty busy and it's hard to come up with these videos and get them filmed and edited for you guys. So it's a rough schedule, but that's what we're going to try and do.
Now, let's get into the video of the Axis and Allies Zombies review.
Basically how we're going to rank the Axis and Allies Zombies and many other board games we'll be doing is we're going to base it off of 50 points in 5 categories. Each category will be worth 10 points. So to start it off, our first category is going to be the map. So overall the map has a very good design, especially the key features of the blood on the side and on the map in general, and then the dark blue sea kind of gives it like a different vibe from other games, and it looks pretty good actually.
Yeah, there's some not crippling flaws, but like just some little things that just hinder it a little bit. So like the board is naturally a smaller board just because like the price range and size of it. It's
around the same size of 1941, like that starter game.
Yeah.
It's like the little foldable 2-piece kind of.
Which kind of like limits its potential a little bit. Like the fact that Moscow is right next to Germany. I know it's like being historically accurate, but if you're the Russian player, it's kind of like
you're dead.
Yeah, that sums it up pretty perfectly. Asia's kind of small, I feel like. Like, China's kind of the same story as Russia.
Japan's coastal area is pretty small.
Yeah, like, it's not like anything, like, big to argue about because it's just the size of the board.
Right.
But, like, it's just a little annoying things. Like, North Africa is pretty small, pretty insignificant. There's a decent amount of islands in the Pacific, which is nice.
But then there are some good parts of the map, like Germany is very well sized for this map.
Yeah.
And everything on America and the coast and the seas, I think, are very good as well. Nothing feels too unbalanced or anything like that.
Yeah, like Europe looks great. The only other thing too that's like just a small thing, I feel like the Caucasus is like right there for Germany to take, and then they're like right next to China.
True.
And India. And I just feel like Germany was really known for attacking India or China, so just
right.
Yeah, but the map itself looks amazing with vibrant colors.
Yeah, and the IPC markers at the bottom is very helpful because it doesn't hinder from the top of the map, and they don't really have to work around that.
Yeah, like,
it's one of the first maps I feel like that has done that, to be honest.
Down on the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, because G40 has it on the top.
Right.
1914 has it like in Africa.
Right.
Yeah, that's definitely a plus of it.
So the overall rating we gave this was an 8 out of 10. Like we said, map design is very good. There's only a few small things that hinder from it, but overall it's pretty good.
Yeah.
For our next category, we have countries. Now, obviously for this game, it is a World War II map, so they've got the same 5 base countries for mostly all the other games. So we've got Germany, Russia, Japan, America, and Great Britain, so your same 5 base countries. They didn't really toy around with it that much, which is perfectly fine, so it is a World War II game, but they didn't really try and do anything special with it, so yeah.
Yeah, they didn't do anything crazy, like there's no China, no Italy.
No Australia, either has its own country.
Yeah, and no France, but like 1942, no reason to have a France,
right.
So you can't really, that would just be boring for the French player.
Yeah.
But they did for what the price of the game is, it's fine. It's not what they're going for. It's not like they're trying to reinvent the wheel and have it be like new countries. Mm-hmm. That isn't what they were going for. They're trying to add zombies, which are kind of like a 6th
right.
country.
So it's hard to add a whole nother country on top of that, you know?
Yeah, and it was,
And plus, I think the map is just a little too small to add a whole other country. Like, Australia would be so tiny just because it's...
Yeah, they'd make 2 IPCs, which they couldn't even buy an infantry.
Right, yeah.
Italy would make another 2, pretty great.
So it's not really, that's not good for them.
Yeah.
For the game in general, and gameplay.
Yeah, so, for what the game is, it's good, but nothing crazy.
So, with that being said, we gave it a 5 out of 10. Like we said, nothing crazy, but nothing awful about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Our next category, we have uniqueness. Now, this is going to be the highest graded part of this game, and for a good reason. It is Axis and Allies and Zombies, a completely different take on the whole Axis and Allies brand. Now, for us personally, it wouldn't have been our first choice for a new game. We would have liked a different war or something, but overall, the execution on the whole zombies idea was fantastic. So, we have these little zombie pieces which is what you place on territories when zombies are in the game. And the way you get zombies is by playing these Desperate Times cards, as you can see. Now, these are actually optional to play if you don't want to, but it is very recommended that you do. And there's also Desperate Measures at the bottom, which is how you get technology to go against the zombies. So basically these cards make you add a zombie to any territory you would like. Well, not what you would like. It tells you where to add a zombie. So for example, when you pull this card, it says add a zombie to Okinawa, which is an island in the Pacific. So even if it is your own country, you have to add it there and you have to fight it eventually. And the Desperate Measures, it can be anything from giving you an advantage against the zombies that round, or you get a technology roll. It can be a bunch of stuff. For this one in particular, it's zombie conscription, and you get to convert a zombie in a territory containing your units into an infantry unit, meaning you don't have to fight it. So these are very cool cards to play with, and adds a very fun aspect to the game that really was never seen before.
Yeah, it's kind of cool having like random events sort of play out.
Right.
Like, there's not many games that have these cards. I know like D-Day does, but like those are more like for the turns. This is like
yeah.
And then this added a completely new battle mechanic. Like when infantry die, they turn into zombies, which is like
very annoying.
Yes, very annoying.
Especially in Russia when they're trying to defend it.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible for Germany to take Moscow.
Yeah. But Moscow there's usually like 10 zombies there. Right. And like in Caucasus there's usually like 6. Like basically Germany just charges, makes Russia get zombified, and then just get out.
By the end of the game, Russia is basically controlled by the zombies.
Yeah. But they added a really cool way of how battles work. Like when infantry die, they become zombies, which is very interesting and cool. And then how battles work, how like there's like almost like three armies in a battle.
Right.
Like so there's the attackers, defenders, and zombies. Zombies could attack either or, which is cool. And then when you roll the dice, you can get the zombie headshot, which is pretty cool. To like just another.
And that fills in for the 6 roll.
Yeah,
so if the zombies are in the battle, it just acts as a 6 and it does nothing.
Yeah. And then there's also the new technology, which is cool. Like the technology's been like a staple in Axis now.
But this is like zombie specific technology.
Like all of this is new.
Right,
None of it has been done before. There's zebra suits, Z4 explosive, chainsaw tanks, air dots, dead napper convoys. Don't know why I need to use that. Zombie mind control. Right. So, they just all sound great. Too.
Right, and they're all very helpful in trying to help you defeat the zombies.
Except
and make
dead
sure
napper convoys.
Yes, and all these do help you try and contain the zombies more than what's in your control.
Yeah, like it's cool having a third country to fight against, and not like you're not just focused on fighting the enemy team. You have to also kind of worry about the zombies.
Right, it adds a completely different aspect and level of thinking to this game.
Yeah.
And for that reason, we gave it a 9 out of 10 because it is completely different from whatever you've seen before, and they did it very, very well.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't change anything about how they did it, to be honest.
The only thing that prevented from getting, like, a 10 is just the idea wasn't what we would have, like...
Right.
Yeah, like, we like the idea, but it's not, like, not the top of the list.
Right, but if it was, like... Yeah, exactly, but
they did everything right to get it.
Exactly, right.
Yeah.
So, 9 out of 10, that's the rating. Yeah. Our fourth category, we have units. Now, like you'd expect, it is a World War II game with the same 5 countries, so really nothing changed amongst the units. There were only 2 major units they really took out, which were cruisers and AA guns, which is what you expect in a smaller game like this. They usually don't make an appearance in these smaller versions. But yeah, pretty much the same generic things. The only thing we have to complain about is the planes. They have the same movements as they do in the bigger maps, like Global 40. So let's take this bomber that can move 6 spaces across the map. So let's assume that there's clear pathways here going both sides. It can make it from Germany to Manchuria on the Pacific coast in 1 turn. It can also make it to Washington, D.C. in 1 turn. And fighters can also move forward, which is also very good on this map sense. Especially over here on the Eastern Front, because Russia's territories are very big, so it makes it a lot easier to travel. So it really is overpowered if you do have good Air Force, because you can just go wherever you want.
Yeah, I agree. So like you said, it's like the countries. They didn't try to reinvent the wheel with this again. Mm-hmm. They just did the basic stuff. But the thing that does change it up pretty drastically is the zombies. They have 3 great different unit types that look very detailed. and they changed up the game enough to like add some spice to the units.
Right, change the aspect.
Yeah.
And these are good units that they did add. I like how they play a lot, and I don't think I'd change anything about them.
Yeah, I agree. And then another cool thing they added, the infantry factories. I don't believe that's been in any other Axis and Allies, at least any that we've played. Mm-hmm. And I feel like they make a great addition. It's almost like in G40, the like minor industrial complexes, but like even more specific, because they're only in China and India, and it kind of makes sense because they weren't as industrialized as other places.
Right.
So it makes sense for them to produce more infantry. As it just adds a great aspect to it. It makes it more detailed.
Right. So overall, we gave it a 6.5. Like we said, pretty basic overall. The stuff that is raising it up higher than like a 5 is the zombies and the infantry factories. It's a great part of the game, and we wouldn't take it out for anything.
Yeah, agreed.
Fifth and final factor we have. Final category we have fun factor. Now this is going to be the overall enjoyment of the game that we have had from playing it over the past couple months. So overall, we say this is a very fun game, and it is very fun watching the zombies like try to race to 25 IPCs because that's the goal they're trying to get, and trying to race against the clock to try to win the game, take over the zombies, take over your enemy, and just try and win. It's a lot of fun, and it's fun to see the zombies just grow in mass and get super big and just take over the world in general. And it's also fun working in a smaller condensed area. You know, smaller maps can have good parts and bad parts about them, but what I like and we like about smaller maps, it is you can make very cheeky moves, which is going to be fun against your enemy, kind of see them panic, and you always have to be careful of what you're doing because, like I said, you can do a whole lot in a smaller map. Like, there can be so many things just happening that you don't see, and then it can happen and you're almost done, you know?
Mm-hmm. Another great thing, we've mentioned it throughout the video, but it's just that great, is that there's a third enemy. Like, it really adds a good twist, not just Axis versus Allies. It's a third force to be reckoned with.
Right, yeah.
Like,
and you definitely don't want to mess with them.
Yeah,
like, they're not easy.
Because you can't just, like, attack them normally. Like, you can't just throw infantry at them. Right. Because then it'll just, like, multiply.
Yeah, you have to be smart with it.
Yeah. And
sure.
The thing that I think is so great about it is it's an enemy without someone playing as them. Like how they're able to do that.
You really don't see that in Axis and Allies games that much.
Yeah. Or just I feel like
But it almost feels like they're like controlled by somebody. You know?
I know, because for most of our games they've won.
Right. Yeah.
Like it's crazy.
You'd be surprised how many times they've won.
Yeah. Maybe we're just trash, but yeah. But yeah, and another great thing is the size of the game. It's quick to set up, quick to take down. It just, we talked about the playability of it, but just from like a technical standpoint, it doesn't take long to play, which can be nice if you just like want to hang out with some friends and just play it.
And setup is very easy. It doesn't take long, like you said. And I think I would say it's a great starter game. I think you can even play this without the zombies, and it'd be great to just start Axis and Allies with.
Yeah, you can just play a normal Axis and Allies game with this map, which is great.
Yeah, like the zombies don't have to be a part of it. And then maybe once you get used to the whole game, you can add the zombies. It can make it more fun.
Yeah, the only thing is that can be annoying though when you're setting it up and as you play more, something that kind of ruins the fun factor.
Right.
It's running out of chips.
Right. Oh yeah.
Dude, Axis and Allies has a problem with this. This game is definitely one of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially if there's not a lot of battles going on in the early stages.
Yeah, and plus, as we've mentioned, there's 3 main powers, so the zombies take up a lot of chips because they just stack up and stack up, which it gets annoying when you need to buy stuff.
Right.
And then finally, there's the price. It's good price.
Very good price.
Yeah.
Especially compared to other Axis and Allies games.
Yeah, they can be pretty pricey. This game is great for a price. You can use it for so many different things. Mm-hmm. You can play Axis and Allies Zombies, which is what it's known for. Yep. But you can also just do regular Axis and Allies. So it's like getting 1941 at a Zombies game. Right. Because you can do both. But I'd say this, like normal Axis and Allies, is better than 1941's Axis and Allies.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then plus there's the 1942 cards that come with it. So if you get that game, you can add Zombies to that. This game just has a lot of possibilities.
I know, right? There's limitless possibilities, which is what Axis and Allies is all about.
Yeah.
So for a fun factor, we give it 8.5 out of 10. I think we all summarized it pretty well. You all probably get the point by now. Mm-hmm. So that brings our total out of 50 points to a 36 out of 50, giving it a 72% rating from us.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the rating.
Yeah, middle of the pack. Kind of where we were thinking it'd be. Right. Good spot. Nothing crazy. Mm-hmm. Not bad. Just
Great.
Yeah, just right there.
That's gonna be it for the video, guys. We hope you all enjoyed watching it. Leave a like down below if you guys want to see more ratings like this. We can do a bunch of other board games, specifically Axis and Allies, but yeah, let us know down below.
Don't forget to leave a comment telling us if you like the video. You could just leave your opinions on us if you agree with us, disagree with us. We just like to hear from you. You could also tell us other types of videos you'd like for us to make. And well, I'm Joel.
I'm Travis, and we hope you all have a good day.